Hey, what's up you guys? This is John Chacon with Austin Performance Fitness. Today I want to share something with you that I guarantee will help you in every single lift slash movement slash exercise that you do in the gym. Doesn't matter if it's deadlifts, squats, lunges, pull-ups, push-ups, rows, overhead presses, sprints, sleds, whatever it is that you want to do and you want to achieve more with, this little tip will help you, and I guarantee that. Now, this little tip, you're going to think it's so simple, and yet so many people that I run into forget about it. In fact, I just witnessed it a little bit ago. I was training with some buddies of mine after I had some clients come in, and it was just a quick little tip, but I ended up helping him out a lot in his lift. He was hitting some squats. That subtle little hint, guys, is focus on your setup. What do I mean by that? Many people, when they approach a movement or a tool, whatever it is, whether they're using kettlebells or their own body weight or a pull-up rig or a barbell, they tend to walk right up to that thing and they go right into doing their movement. Doesn't matter the movement, okay? Forget about whatever specific type of movement you're thinking of in your head, but you can apply it to everything. Now, with the setup, when people approach the bar, they tend to just grab it, set their feet up in whatever way they want to, and then just start pulling. There's really no set technique or setup that they have when they move into it, or it's kettlebells, or it's getting into a push-up stance. People move into it very quickly, and that usually ends up resulting in failed attempts of the move itself, losing control of the implement, the kettlebell, the barbell, the dumbbell, whatever it might be, or they get exhausted a lot quicker, or they start to lose their form a lot sooner in the movement than they had intended to. And a lot of times, most of the time, they could have mitigated that by simply focusing on getting into a good position before they start that movement. Now, what do I mean by getting into a good position? You can say a lot of things like, hey, I took my time, I walked up to it slowly, and I thought about the movement, I get into it. That's not what I'm getting at. Let's take, for instance, a deadlift, okay? When you walk up to that barbell, there are so many components to getting into that position to set you up for success. When you start in a good position, you will move in a good position, and you will end in a good position. Okay, I know there's a lot more to it, but the setup is important. So let's say I am getting set up in a deadlift. I'm going to approach that bar. First thing before I even get to that bar is I'm going to center myself on the bar. Every bar has something that will show you the center of it, okay? For our bars, there's this piece that's about a foot and a half long that is smooth. The rest of the bar has that gritty, rough knurling on it, okay? Once they center themselves on the bar, they put their feet up, hip width apart, shoulder width apart, farther than shoulder width, whatever stance they want to take. They make sure that they are centered and those feet are in the right spot. Now, they're going to center themselves on the bar. After that, they're going to set up their knees and hips. You'll kind of notice we set up our feet first, then we started setting up our knees and our hips. With our knees, I have people spread the floor, drive the knees to the sides while pushing their butt back and down slightly, okay? Now we got our feet, our knees, and our hips. After that, look down at the bar. It's okay to look down at it. Grab that bar with both hands. Wrap the thumbs and fingers around. From there, make sure the wrists are straight. Radiate that tension all the way up the elbows, the triceps, the biceps, the shoulders, and pull those shoulder blades back and suck yourself down into that bar. From there, take all the slack out of that bar that you possibly can. There should be nothing loose in that entire system, from the ground where your feet are at to that bar, to your shoulders, to your neck. Everything is in place. Taking that deep diaphragmatic belly breath you've heard me talk about before, brace at your torso, and then lift without jerking it. Make it nice and smooth. Guarantee you will have a great path of that bar all the way up. You'll be able to reach full extension as long as it's a weight that is comfortable and that it's right for your body and your current ability level, and come back down. And you will be set up for that next lift immediately, okay? Now, other things can apply to this too, pretty much everything. Let's say you set up for a pull-up, okay? It's going to be the opposite now because everything is based on starting at your hands. Once you establish that pull-up position, or where you want to be doing your pull-ups, in other words, you place your hands shoulder width apart, palms facing out or palms facing in, whichever one you're doing. You wrap the thumbs and fingers around, okay? We start as low as our fingers. They are very important to what your grip is. Do you have your thumbs over? Do you have your thumbs under? Establish that grip. Once you establish your grip nice and tight and you're squeezing, okay, you're going to create and radiate that tension all the way down the forearm, into your upper arm, and into the shoulders. Once you've established that overhead position and you let your feet off the ground, you pull those shoulder blades down, you depress them, and you retract them, pulling them together, establishing that nice solid base. From there, you squeeze your glutes, lock your hips into place, taking that belly breath, and you pull straight up, keeping those arms in tight to the side, and come back down, okay? Again, we started with a position. We knew where we wanted to have that bar, we established our hand position, and we went and worked our way down from there. So, for a lot of your upper body movements, you're gonna start with your fingertips and your hands, something like a push-up or pull-ups or overhead press or rows. You're going to start with that and work your way down the body, okay? And in the instance of something like a squat or a deadlift, work your way up. In fact, the squat's going to be completely different, especially if you're using a tool of some type. Any type of loaded squat, whether it's kettlebells, dumbbells, or kettlebells, you have to set up your hand and shoulder position in reference to that tool before you start setting up your feet. Okay, I'm not going to go too much into it. My main point is you will be safer and you will perform far better in that lift because you'll have more control and you'll be able to utilize the joints and muscle and ligaments and tendons that you have available for that lift if you just take your time and set up in the right position, guys. Take the extra 3, 4, 5, 10 seconds it is, and no one's in that much of a rush to get into the right position, okay? Focus on the setup. I guarantee that tip will help you in every single one of the movements that you do in the gym. Again, I don't care if it's squats, deadlifts, lunges, hip thrusts, overhead presses, pull-ups, push-ups, chin-ups, sled drags, farmer's carries, you name it, set yourself up right every time. Think about everything you have at your disposal. You're going to work all the way from the tip of your toes to the tip of your fingertips and your neck, all the way into your breath, okay? I guarantee if you focus on all those, you will do better, guys. And I want you getting stronger every day. That's all I got for you guys today. This is John Chacon with Austin Performance Fitness. Give it a shot, guys. Focus on the setup. Stronger every day. Peace.